I was making dumplings in the kitchen. My mother-in-law was watching TV in the living room. My sister-in-law, Chen Ting, was scrolling her phone with her legs crossed. Nobody offered to help. I wiped my hands and answered, "Is this Ms. Sunian?" "This is her. You have a loan of 1.9 million with our bank. That's already 3 months overdue. How do you plan to handle this?" I froze for a moment. "What loan?" "In June 2023. You applied for a 1.9 million consumer loan under your personal name at our bank, with the property at Chengnan Feiqiuan Complex as collateral." I glanced at the living room. Chen Ting's eyes flicked up for a moment, then quickly dropped back down. "You must have the wrong person." My voice stayed flat. "Our house was bought outright with full cash. We've never taken out any loan. Ms. Su, our system does show it's your identity information, including your ID number and registered address. They all match. We suggest you come to the bank in person to verify this." "Fine. I'll go tomorrow." I hung up the phone. I didn't rush to speak. Finished pinching the last dumpling, arranged them neatly on the plate. "Who called?" "My mother-in-law didn't even turn her head. What's the bank pestering you about? They say I owe 1.9 million. The living room went silent for a moment. My mother-in-law turned around. Her expression looked a bit off. Chen Ting almost dropped her phone. "Sister-in-law, don't take that bank call seriously. There are so many scammers around these days, right? That has to be a scam call. Who just casually carries around 1.9 million anyway?" "Sister-in-law, don't worry yourself over nothing. Are the dumplings ready yet?" "I'm hungry." I watched the dumplings boil themselves in the pot. "Sister-in-law, you and I need to go somewhere." I grabbed my bag and left. Not to the bank. The bank wouldn't open until tomorrow. I went to the police station. The officer on duty listened to my account, and his expression grew noticeably more serious. "Ms. Su, if it's confirmed you didn't personally take out this loan, then this involves someone using another person's identity to fraudulently obtain a loan. That's a criminal offense. I know who you suspect." I didn't answer directly. "I want to first check whether my identity information has been used by someone else. For any other transactions?" The officer helped me check. When the results came back, even she frowned. "Ms. Su, besides this 1.9 million loan, you also have 3 credit cards under your name, with a combined credit limit of 420,000. All of it overdue." I stared at the numbers on the screen. "When were the cards open?" "The earliest one was last March. Last March. That's when Chen Ting came from our hometown to stay with us, saying she wanted to find work in the city. I let her stay temporarily at our place. She didn't bring much luggage. Just a single suitcase. I remember around that time, I lost my ID card once. Spent 2 days looking before finding it wedged in the sofa cushions. I didn't think much of it back then. Now everything is making sense. Ms. Su, do you want to file a report?" I stood up. "Not just yet. I'll go to the bank tomorrow to verify the details clearly, and come back once I have the complete loan documentation." The officer looked at me for a moment. Probably thought I was too calm about this. But why would I need to rush? The house was bought entirely with cash. Only my name is on the property deed. If she used my ID to get a loan, what exactly did she use as collateral? If the bank issued the loan without even verifying the ownership of the collateral, then this is a debt the bank needs to answer for. My phone buzzed at the police station. "A WeChat message from Zhou Yan, honey. Mom said you went out. The dumplings have gone cold. Want me to heat them up for you?" I replied with 3 words. "No need." Another message popped up, sent by Chen Ting. "Sister-in-law, where did you go? Did that scam call actually scare you? Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. I'll help you report them if you want." I looked at that message and smiled a little. Replied with 1 word. "Sure." Early the next morning, I didn't ask anyone to come. Went to the bank by myself. When the branch manager pulled up the loan contract, I carefully examined every single page. The signature was forged. The handwriting was completely different from mine. The copy of my ID card was genuinely mine, but the phone number left on the contract, I had no idea whose number that even was. "Ms. Su, under privacy regulations, I'm not permitted to tell you directly, but if you file a police report, the authorities can request that information. Did you do facial recognition when issuing this loan? Was there an in-person signing?" The manager's expression grew even more awkward. "I'll need to verify what the process was at the time." "Go ahead and verify it." I took photos of the contract. "One more thing I want to ask. What exactly was used as collateral for this loan? A property at Chengnan Feiqiuan? Where's the property deed?" The manager searched for a while. "There's a copy of the property deed in the file archive." "It's fake." "What? This property deed number is fabricated. You can go check with the real estate registration center. That property at Feiqiuan is registered under my name, and I have never once registered it as collateral." The manager could no longer stay composed. "Ms. Su, please wait a moment. I'll ask our branch president to come speak with you." 15 minutes later, the branch president himself came out, sharply dressed in a suit, smiling broadly. "Miss Song, we take this matter extremely seriously." I cut him off. "I don't need you to take it seriously. I need you to tell me 3 things. First, who exactly processed and handled this loan? Second, did you conduct proper compliance review? Third, how do you plan to handle this?" The president's smile froze. "Ms. Su, I understand how you're feeling." "You can't possibly understand." I opened my briefcase, took out a business card and handed it over. "This is my lawyer's contact information. Please direct all further communication to her." The president glanced at the card, and his expression changed. The card read, "Fang Qing, partner at Jingheng Law Firm, one of the largest law firms in the entire city. Miss Song, we will absolutely cooperate fully with the investigation. Before 5 o'clock this afternoon, I want all video footage and approval records from every step of processing this loan." I stood up. "If this deadline is missed, I'll file a complaint with the banking regulator and pursue both civil and criminal channels simultaneously." As I walked out of the bank, My phone rang again. It was Chen Ting calling. Sister-in-law, did you go to the bank? How do you know I went to the bank? The other end suddenly went quiet. I just guessed. Didn't you get that call last night? Chen Ting, I called her by her full name. Is there something you need to tell me? There were 3 seconds of silence on the phone. Sister-in-law, don't overthink things. What could I possibly have going on? Good, that's a relief then. I hung up the phone, sent a message to Zhou Yuan. Come home early tonight, something to discuss. He replied instantly. What's wrong? Something about your sister. He didn't reply after that. But I knew he'd seen it. You read it and didn't reply. Which means he's feeling guilty too. At 7 that evening, Zhou Yuan arrived home. As he walked in, he wore an overly ingratiating smile. Honey, I bought you cherries, sit down. Her smile faded. Obediently sitting down on the couch, my mother-in-law poked her head out from the room. Yuan, you're home. Have you eaten yet? Mom, come sit down too. My mother-in-law glanced at me. Walked over slowly. Chen Ting, you come out too. Chen Ting stayed in her room, not coming out. Her bedroom door opened just a crack. She shuffled out reluctantly, standing in the hallway, too afraid to sit closer. She sat in the seat farthest away. I went to the bank today and checked. Someone used my ID card to take out a 1.9 million loan. And opened 3 credit cards too, with 420,000 overdrawn, a total of 232 million altogether. No one in the living room said a word. The signature on the loan contract was forged. The phone number on file isn't mine. The copy of the property deed is fake too. And the bank issued the loan without even doing basic verification. I looked at Chen Ting. She was trembling. Chen Ting, did you do this? I didn't do it. Last March when you came to stay at our place, my ID card went missing for 2 days. It had never gone missing before you arrived. And it never went missing again after you left. That must have been you losing it yourself. Then what about the phone number left on that loan contract? What if we trace it and it turns out to be yours? Her face went pale. My mother-in-law suddenly spoke up. Nian, even if it really was Xiao Ting who used your ID card, she surely didn't mean any harm by it. Mom! Xu Wen rarely cut her off. 1.9 million isn't exactly a small amount. No, Xiao Ting must have really needed the money urgently. It's not easy for a girl on her own out there. It's not easy for her, so it's easy for me. A debt of 2.32 million is now hanging under my name. My credit record is completely ruined. Every future loan for a house or car will be affected. But we're all family after all. Mom, my voice wasn't loud, but my mother-in-law fell silent on her own. I turned to face Chen Ting. One last question. Where did all that 1.9 million go? She didn't answer. If you won't say, the police will say it for you tomorrow. I've already filed a police report. Sister-in-law, please don't report this. I'll pay it back slowly. Pay it back how? Your monthly salary is 3,500. 2.32 million. Tell me exactly how you'll pay that back. She collapsed to the floor sobbing. My mother-in-law felt sorry for her. Nian, you're going too far. She's your sister-in-law. Can't you as the older sister-in-law show a little more magnanimity? For a price tag of 2.32 million. Looking at my mother-in-law, I suddenly felt like laughing. Mom, do you even understand what 2.32 million actually means? That's 6 years of Zhou Yuan's salary. If he didn't eat or spend a single cent, my mother-in-law opened her mouth. But no words came out. Zhou Yuan stayed silent the whole time. I looked over at him. What's your stance on this? He rubbed his hands together, sweat covering his forehead. Honey, can we hold off on the police report for now? And try to resolve this within the family first. Resolve it? How? I'll talk to Xiao Ting and get her to explain clearly where the money went. I'll give you one night. I stood up. If I don't have an answer by noon tomorrow, I'll go to the police station and submit the materials myself. Zhou Yuan and Chen Ting talked all through the night. When I came downstairs the next morning, both of them were sitting in the living room. Eyes red from crying. A few sheets of paper lay on the coffee table, densely filled with numbers. Sister-in-law, let me explain. I sat down and picked up the sheets of paper. 1.9 million breakdown as follows. 800,000 given to her boyfriend Liu Kai for his business. 500,000 spent on a Mercedes. 300,000 lost entirely trading Bitcoin. The remaining 300,000 spent on daily extravagance. As for the 3 credit cards, the 420,000 overdrawn, all spent on designer bags, clothes, and cosmetics. I looked over this list, reading through it word by word. The car. Is it registered under whose name at Liu Kai's place? Under hers, you used my money to buy a car, and registered it under your boyfriend's name. She buried her head even lower. What about the 800,000 for the business? What kind of business was it? A barbecue restaurant that ended up failing. Opening a barbecue restaurant cost 800,000. Xiao Ting said Liu Kai pulled her in to invest together. He got scammed too. So that means he had to scam me. Zhou Yuan fell silent. I set down the sheets of paper. Chen Ting, when exactly did you start planning this? Stealing my ID card, forging the property deed, finding someone to sign on my behalf, getting connections inside the bank to push the approval through. This entire operation, you couldn't have pulled off alone. She bit her lip and said nothing. Liu Kai helped you? Her reaction gave her away, a flicker in her eyes. So it was Liu Kai who taught you how to do this. Sister-in-law, Liu Kai isn't a bad person. He just made a lapse in judgment. A lapse serious enough to help you forge official documents. Chen Ting, do you even understand what crime this is? Loan fraud can carry a maximum sentence of life imprisonment. Sister-in-law, what's the use of you being so harsh? I looked over at Zhou Yuan. Did you already know about your sister's situation? He froze for a moment. When did I ever say that? You didn't say a single word to me all night last night. Not because you were figuring things out, but because you already knew. Her face flushed red. I only found out last month. Xiao Ting slipped up when she asked to borrow money from me, and told me the truth after I pressed her. You knew and kept it from me for a whole month. I was trying to help her pay off the interest first, and gradually fill the hole. Using what money? Our savings, of course. He couldn't even look at me. Zhou Yuan shrank into himself entirely. My money. My identity. My credit record. In 5 years married into your family, the Joes. I never once asked you for anything. Never spent a single cent of yours. I paid the down payment for this home. I paid for the renovations. I paid for your mother's medical bills. And I know exactly what you knew. You knew for a whole month. And you chose to help your sister hide it from me. She lowered her head. My mother-in-law heard the commotion from her room and came out again. Mom, here's how I'm going to handle this. First, Chen-Ting moves out today. Second, Liu Kai hands over the car to be liquidated within 3 days. Third, every recoverable cent gets recovered. As for what can't be recovered, I'll pursue it through legal channels. You're going to sue your own sister-in-law. She broke the law. We're family, no. Mom, please don't say any more. Zhu Wen suddenly shouted. The living room fell silent. My mother-in-law was stunned by the outburst. Standing there, lips trembling, Chen-Ting clung to her mother and burst into tears. Mom, sister-in-law is trying to kick me out. What do you mean, kick out? Leave right now. Sister-in-law, take your suitcase with you. The same one you carried when you first arrived. Chen-Ting moved out, not by her own choice. She was asked to leave by me. Zhou Yuan drove her to a nearby budget hotel and came back completely exhausted. Honey, about Zhao Ting and that Liu Kai, I've already had lawyer Fang Qing send a formal letter. What kind of letter? A lawyer's letter demanding the Mercedes be returned within 3 days. Otherwise, he'll be pursued for criminal liability as an accomplice in fraud. Zhu Wen was stunned for a moment. You moved that fast. I've always been efficient. You just never paid attention. He laughed awkwardly. One more thing. The bank gave feedback this afternoon. There were serious violations in the loan's approval process. The account manager who handled it has already been suspended. So the bank is conducting an internal investigation into this money. If it's confirmed their approval loophole led to the loan disbursement, this loan has no legal connection to me at all. Zhou Yuan let out a sigh of relief. Isn't that a good thing then? Then this doesn't need to be blown up so big. You think this shouldn't be pursued further? Xiuting has already moved out. Whatever money can be recovered, recover it. Whatever can't, let the bank absorb the loss. Zhou Yuan? I set down the cup in my hand. Do you really think this can just be glossed over lightly? He looked uncomfortable under my gaze, shifting his eyes away. Your sister stole my ID card, forged my signature, used a fake property deed to defraud the bank of 1.9 million. If I don't report this to the police, whose identity will she steal next time? She wouldn't dare do it again. She already dared to commit loan fraud. What wouldn't she dare do? He made a promise. I'm not asking for your opinion. I just need you not to get in my way. Chen-Ting violated Article 193 of the criminal law, loan fraud. The case filing threshold is 20,000 wen and above. She defrauded 1.9 million. How do you think the police will classify this? The chance I'm giving her is to voluntarily return all the stolen money and property and gain the bank's understanding. If the bank decides not to pursue this, I can skip giving a formal statement. But she only has 72 hours. 72 hours? 3 days? He stood up and left the house without even putting on a jacket. I watched his back as he left. 5 years of marriage. This was the first time I felt like this man was a stranger. My phone rang, a call from lawyer Fang Qing. Nenni and the bank sent over their surveillance footage. I've reviewed it. What does it show? On the day the loan was processed, it was a young woman who came in. Her appearance is 50 or 60% similar to yours. Somehow the bank's facial recognition system passed her. Either it's a technical vulnerability, or someone let her through deliberately. Who was that woman? I'm sending you the surveillance screenshot. See if you recognize her. When I received the screenshot, I zoomed in on the image. It was Chen-Ting wearing heavy makeup, wearing one of my outfits. She'd even copied my style of dressing. I locked my phone, closed my eyes for a moment, then replied to Fang Qing, please help me prepare the police report materials. I'll submit them the day after tomorrow. The next evening, my mother-in-law came over, carrying a bag of ribs and 2 fish. Nian Nian, let me make you a soup. Mom, just tell me directly what you want to say. She took off her apron and sat down properly across from me. Nian Nian, about this whole shouting matter, Mom wants to ask you for one thing. You're going to ask me not to report it. Why, if she ends up in prison? Her whole life will be over. She nearly destroyed my entire life. She's your sister-in-law, exactly because she's my sister-in-law. She felt entitled to steal my ID card, use my name to take out a loan and destroy my credit record. And I should just endure that quietly. My mother-in-law's eyes reddened. Mom knows she did wrong, but she's my own flesh and blood. You're going to make me watch her go to prison. Mom won't be able to live with that. Ha! Mom, have you ever considered, what if I hadn't bought the house entirely with cash? What if the bank had confirmed this loan as valid? I would be stuck carrying a debt of 1.9 million, plus the 420,000 on the credit cards. The interest alone would run close to 300,000 a year. My mother-in-law opened her mouth. Did your daughter ever once think of me when she borrowed all that money? She's young and doesn't understand things well. She's 28 years old, not 8. My mother-in-law started crying. I waited for her to finish. Mom, I gave her a 72-hour deadline. There's still 48 hours left. If she returns all the money and property, and the bank doesn't pursue this further, I won't give a formal statement. But she must write a formal written statement of the entire process, fingerprinted and notarized by a lawyer. This is to protect myself. What written statement? A written admission that she used my identity without permission to take out the loan and open the credit cards. If something similar ever happens again in the future, this document will serve as evidence presented in court. So Liu Kai's car, the Mercedes worth 500,000, has to be handed over. Even after depreciation, it's still worth over 300,000. It's the single largest recoverable asset. Liu Kai claims he bought the car himself. The purchase funds were transferred from the loan under my name. The bank has the transfer records. He says he bought it. Then let him provide proof of an alternative source of funds. If he can't produce that, it counts as stolen money and property. My mother-in-law fell silent. I poured her a glass of water. Mom, I'm not trying to break up this family, but I can't let myself be treated like a fool. You're not a fool. You're smarter than just about anyone. Mom, I know that. I'm smarter than just about anyone. That's exactly why I insisted on paying cash for the house back then. Insisted on registering it under my name only. Everyone said I was being petty and stingy, guarding against my husband's family. Now it turns out that stinginess is what saved me. As my mother-in-law was leaving, she turned back at the door and said one thing. Nian Nian, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have always favored shouting so much. In 5 years of marriage, this was the first time she'd ever said sorry to me. I stood at the door for a long while, then went back to my room and opened my laptop. Did a full review of every asset and account, under my name over these past few years. Without checking, I wouldn't have known. But once I checked, Chen-Ting's reach went even further than I had thought. Besides that 1.9 million loan and the 420,000 in credit card overdraft, there was also an additional online lending record under my name. A 180,000 loan from some platform, also overdue already. A total of 2.5 million altogether. Fang Xing worked overtime and went to the central bank for me, pulling a complete credit report. Nian Nian, your credit record is basically ruined now. Loan default, credit card default, and online loan default all marked negative. How long before those records clear? 5 years from the date it's fully repaid, provided it does get fully repaid. Right, any progress on the bank's side? Their internal investigation is basically wrapped up. The account manager who handled it is named Zhang Lei. He's Liu Kai's Chen-Ting's boyfriend's cousin. I froze for a moment. Yes, Liu Kai's cousin, that's confirmed. So how exactly did the facial recognition step get passed? You should already understand. He manually approved it within the system. It never went through the normal process at all. It all connects into one line now. Liu Kai came up with the plan. Chen-Ting stole the ID card. Zhang Lei opened a back door at the bank. 3 people working together as a complete chain. What's Zhang Lei's status right now? Suspended pending investigation. The bank is handling it internally. But they're emphasizing they want to handle this internally. After all, it's also a regulatory matter. They can't just neglect duty. What? Zhang Lei can't just get away with a suspension. He's an accomplice. So you want me to help you prepare a complete police report file? With all 3 people listed in it, Neon. Are you sure Chen-Ting is still your sister-in-law after all? She still stole 2.5 million from me after all. Alright, I'll have the materials ready by tomorrow. I hung up the phone, sat in front of my computer thinking for a long while. 2.5 million. If I were an ordinary salaried worker, this number would be enough to crush me completely. But I'm not. I never mentioned this to Zhou Yuan's family. I have my own studio, an interior design studio registered under my best friend Lin Yue's name. But the actual investor and lead designer is me. Last year's revenue was over 8 million. Over these years, I've steadily invested in 3 properties in this city, plus the one I live in, 4 properties total, all bought outright. Xu Wen knows part of this, but not everything. He knows my income isn't low, but doesn't know the exact figures. She knows I bought other properties, but doesn't know exactly how many. When we got married, I told him one thing. I'll manage my own finances, don't worry about it. And you handle yours too. He seemed quite pleased at the time. Thought he'd married an independent woman. Looking back on it now, I'm glad I held firm on that decision.